So far with Pythagorean Theorem, we've learned that what shape does Pythagorean Theorem work for? Right triangles. And so what we've been doing the past 2 days is solving for a missing side. Yes? Okay. Today you're not going to solve for any missing sides. What you're going to do today is you're going to be given a triangle with all 3 sides. And your job is to say, yes, it's a right triangle, or no, it's not. That's all you're going to do. So your answer is going to be what today? Yes or no. Okay, to do that, you're going to use Pythagorean Theorem, and I'll tell you why. Right here it says, if a triangle is really a right triangle, then a squared plus b squared equals c squared has to be true. Because Mr. Pythagoras learned that this theorem works. If it doesn't work, then it's not a right triangle. Does that make sense? Okay, so what you're going to do is your answer is going to be yes or no. So everybody look at example 1. They gave you 3 numbers. These numbers are the sides of a triangle. So if you want to draw a triangle, you can. You would just draw a triangle. You don't have to, though. Let's talk about it. If these 3 numbers were on a triangle and it was a right triangle, which one of these would have to be the C?
17.
Because the C has to be the biggest side. So 17 would be here, and 8 and 15. Does everybody agree? Now, what is my job today? To see if these 2 sides squared add up to equal this side squared. And if they do, my answer is yes, it is a right triangle. If they don't, my answer will be no, it is not a right triangle. So all I'm going to do is say, test this theorem out. All right, so here's my A, my B, and my C. 17 has to be the C because it's the biggest side. All right, so I say, is a squared plus b squared equals c squared? Is 8 squared plus 15 squared equal to 17 squared? Now, guys, am I solving anything today? No, there's nothing to solve. It's fully done. All I have to do is type this side into my calculator and then type the right side of the equal sign into my calculator and see if it's true or not. So get your calculator and type in the left side of the equal sign. 8 squared plus 15 squared. I got 289. If this is a right triangle, then what do I have to get over here? What do I have to get if it's a right triangle? I got to get the same answer, right? Because it has to be equal. So what is 17 squared? Is it also 289? So did Pythagorean Theorem prove to be true with these 3 numbers?
Yes.
Then these 3 numbers would make a true right triangle. Did I square root anything today? No, because I'm not solving for a missing side. Please do not use the square root button today because you are not solving for a missing side. All right, everybody look at example 2. Out of these 3 numbers, which one would have to be the C? Okay, so this is going to be my C and my A and my B. I'm going to ask myself, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And I'm going to ask myself, is it true or is it not true? Okay, so I'm going to say, is 4 squared plus 6 squared equal to 13 squared? I'm just seeing if it's true or not true. So I put the left side of the equal sign in my calculator. Then I'm going to put the right side of the equal sign in my calculator. So 4 squared plus 6 squared is 52. if it's true, then 13 squared has to be 52, right? But 13 squared is 169. Those do not equal each other. So this would not form a right triangle. How easy is this? Super, super easy. Now, the biggest problem I saw people make today in first period was that they labeled the C wrong. Like they just got in a hurry. The C has to be the biggest number. So on example 3, which one would be the C? Okay, I want you to go set it up and you say yes or no without looking at mine, and I'll solve it at the same time.
A and B don't matter which one you put it.
Correct. A and B do not matter where you put them. The only one that matters is C. Did everybody get 35 squared plus 45 squared is 3,250? And we got 55 squared is 3,025. Do those numbers equal each other? No, this would not form a right triangle. Even though they have the same digits, they're not the same numbers, right? All right, last one. Try it on your own. Did you get 841 on the left?
Yes.
Did you get 841 on the right?
Yes.
Would these three numbers form a right triangle? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pass out your assignment, and I am going to go over to one of them that's challenging. So just... Okay, so on your assignment, your job is to write yes or no. Please make sure that you're labeling the biggest number as the C. So everybody look at number 1. What would the C be?
15.
Good. Now all of these are very, very easy until you get to number 9. So please turn to number 9. This question was on a STAR test one year, and most of my students did not get it correct because they were confused with the way it was presented. So please let me explain. The question says, when 3 squares are joined together at their vertices, meaning they touch each other, they can form a right triangle. The area of the 2 smaller squares has to equal the area of the biggest square. That's what it says. Then it says, which 3 squares do not support this? Meaning, which 3 squares would not form a right triangle? Okay, so it actually looks easy, but then they try to trick you. I want y'all to look at F. They threw people off so bad on this question. Who can see what they did?
The square.
Uh-huh. So everybody look at the first tiny square. What does that say? 3?
7.
That's a side length, right? Then look at this one. What does it say? That's a side length. But what does this one say? That means they already squared it. That's the area of this square. Does that make sense? And that right there, my students knew what to do, but they thought that was a side link because they put it on the side. And that was confusing, and I don't like what they did to them. So what I'm telling you guys, if it has the little squared symbol, they already squared it. So this is the bigger square, so this would be the C, this would be the A, this would be the B. I would do the same thing, A squared plus B squared. Okay, so A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Okay, this is a side link, so I would need to do 3 squared plus 4 squared. But do I do 25 squared or just 25? It's not 25 squared, it's already squared. I don't square it if it has that symbol. That means they already did it. Does that make sense? And so 3 squared plus 4 squared is 25, and 25 equals 25. So this one would form a right triangle. I'm looking for the one that will not. So just be careful. Look at G. Are any of those already squared? Nope. So this one you do like normal. Look at H. Are any of these already squared? This one. Just because the number's bigger does not make it the C because it's already squared. This is the C because it's the biggest square. Okay? So to set that one up, I would say is 9 squared, because that's my A, this is my B, plus 144 equal to 21 squared. That one's already squared. To unsquare it, you would do the square root, which is 12. If you wanted to do is 9 squared plus 12 squared. 12 squared is 144. Okay, so that's how you do that one. All the rest are super easy. Okay, I will check your work if you want me to, but I'm not going to circle the ones you missed. I will circle 9 or 10 because they're multiple choice. The rest are all yes or no. So if I circle them, then you know what the answer is. I'll just look at it and say, hey, you missed a lot. Go recheck it. Okay, or it looks good. But I will check 9 and 10. Okay, so get this done. Submit it in Google Classroom. When you're finished, you need to submit your work from yesterday and Wednesday, and then you're to get on Alex.